Hari Om. Jai Shri Radhe Krishna. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, Chapter number 2, Shloka number 11. Shri Bhagavan uvācha aśhochyān-anvaśhochas-tvaṁ prajñā-vādānśh bhāṣhase gatāsūn-agatāsūnśh-cha nānuśhochanti paṇḍitāḥ. Shri Bhagavan said, "You are mourning for that which is not worthy of grief, and yet you speak words of wisdom. The wise grieve neither for the living nor for the dead." Now the teaching begins as Bhagavan starts to explain to Arjuna about Atma-jnana or knowledge of the self. Hence, in Gita Shastra, this shloka is regarded as the seed or source, bija, just as the whole tree is involved in the seed. The whole of the Gita Shastra is implied in this shloka. The message of Bhagavad Gita starts with the word aśhochyān, not worthy of grief, and ends with the words ma shucha, do not grieve. So, the main purpose of Gita teaching should be the removal of sorrow. There are 4 propositions in this shloka. First one, Arjuna is grieving. Second one, he is grieving for those not to be grieved for. Third, he speaks the words of the wise, though he is not so. Fourth, the wise do not grieve for the living or for the dead. Now, let us have a close look at these 4 points. The cause for Arjuna's suffering and distress is because when he looked at his relatives, friends, and teachers lined up on the opposite side, the feeling of me and mine became very strong in him, the central point being the I-ness. A man grieves when he categorizes some persons or objects as his own and some others as not his own. Now, what is grief? To grieve is to feel helplessly unhappy at the decay of things or persons where we have no power to stop, and this grief is suicidal, as it benumbs our abilities, weakens our daring, dries up our courage, and saps up all hopes and joy. Second point, those not to be grieved for refers to Bhishma and Drona. Why are they not to be grieved for? It is because they are beyond the sense of attachment and the feeling of I-ness and minus. That is the reason they are on the side of Kaurava army, despite the fact that Pandavas are equally dear to them. They are aware of the difference between the real and unreal, the soul and the body, respectively. For example, we do not condole every evening the death of the day, for we know that the sun has not really gone. That sun will rise again in the east after 12 hours. We do not grieve for each wave that dissolves its form, for we know that they are unreal and the real thing is the water in the waves. Waves are like the physical bodies which appear and disappear, while the indweller of the body, the self or soul, is like the water. The unreal is bound to perish, as it is perishing at every moment, so it should not be grieved for. Now, coming to the third point of this shloka, the body is born and is destined to decay and vanish sometime in future. Lamenting for something known to be a perishable is foolish. Here Sri Krishna directly responds to Arjuna's statement in chapter 1, shloka number 32, where he says, "Of what use is the kingdom, this fabulous wealth and enjoyments, or even living, if it is to be obtained by killing one's kins?" One who knows that Atma is Nitya or eternal is actually a wise man, and for him there is no cause for lamentation regardless of the condition of the gross body. The wise do not mourn for the dead or for the living is the fourth point Shri Krishna makes here. Why? Every object in the world has 5 aspects: existence, light, joy, name, and form. Out of this, the first 3, existence, light, and joy, Sat, Chit, and Ananda, are real and eternal. The latter 2, name and form, are transitory. The first 3 constitute the real nature of man and not name and form. But such is the power of ignorance or avidya that man sees, knows, and clings to the later 2 only. Those who are illuminated are factually illuminated by knowledge due to this realization. They are prajñā or wise and knowledgeable. Avada means those who are opposed to the Vedic injunctions. Whatever the wise proclaim is always in conjunction with the Vedic injunctions, and whatever is contrary to the Vedic injunctions is not worthy of contemplation. Hence, paṇḍitāḥ or wise never lament for the physical body. In order to remedy this myopic view of Arjuna, Sri Krishna administered the strongest medicine of the knowledge of the self at the very first stroke from the 11th shloka. All the subsequent teachings are an elaboration of the principle laid down in this shloka. Hari Om, Jai Shri Radhe Krishna.